Farmers and ranchers are well known to be fiercely independent, and that independence has served them well over the years. Mother Nature can be very cruel to those who make a living on the land. By thriving in an industry wrought with so much uncertainty, these producers have shown amazing perseverance. While our ancestors that settled in this region of the country understood self-sufficiency, they soon learned the value of working together. From the early barn raisings and opening snow-covered roads to sharing of equipment, agricultural producers have always found ways to achieve their goals. Working through cooperatives, farmers and ranchers continue to share resources to maximize their profitability. While we're not sharing a threshing machine today, we are sharing state-of-the-art feed mills, fertilizer plants, application equipment, and shuttle train loading facilities. None of us could afford to own these types of assets individually, but by working together, we own things that bring value to all of us. In the early 1900s, farmer cooperatives began to form in many areas of the state. These groups formed because people living in rural areas either could not find a consistent supply of a product they needed, or due to a lack of competition, the pricing of these input supplies was at times exorbitant. Through the innovating thinking of our moms and dads, or perhaps our grandmas and grandpas, we developed a cooperative system that was designed to allow farmers and ranchers to work together to assure that an adequate supply of farm inputs that were fairly priced could be available across the state. Eventually, most all these cooperatives grew from input supply cooperatives to full-service agronomy, petroleum, feed, and grain marketing cooperatives. When Grandma and Grandpa created these cooperatives, it was done to meet the needs of members. Today's cooperatives are no different in that fundamental principle. Our goal is still to meet the needs of our farming and ranching members. Have cooperatives changed over the years? We all know they have. Has farming changed much since the early 1900s? Absolutely. We've seen the advent of government programs and, perhaps more importantly, the mechanization of agriculture, and finally, the flood of technological advances that have changed agriculture forever. The point being, cooperatives have changed greatly since their formation in the 1900s, but at the same time, agriculture has dramatically changed as well. So as farmers have changed, their cooperatives have needed to change as well to meet the needs of today's modern farmers. Today's farmer-owned cooperatives still provide value for their members just as they did in the early days. As a member of the cooperative, you have the opportunity to participate in the management of the company by electing the board of directors. These locally elected directors serve as the policymakers for the cooperative and provide input in every major decision the cooperative makes.
As local directors, we take the responsibility of managing our co-op very seriously. Operating a business the size of our co-op is very complex, but I can tell you the focus of the board is to put the co-op in a better position to help our members meet their needs. The belonging to a local co-op assures me that decisions that affect that business are made by farmers and ranchers just like myself, and not dictated by a board of directors from another state or even another country. Rather than shipping profits out of the community, a co-op will reinvest those profits to help its members down the road, or return those profits to its members in the form of a patronage refund.
One of the benefits of a cooperative is knowing that the strategic decisions being made about the company's future is being made by farmers just like me. The decisions of the board represent the membership of that cooperative and are made in the best interest of those members to meet the needs of those members. The chances of the co-op leaving the community are not nearly as great as the chance of a company that does not have that vested interest in the local community. An example of the investment that co-ops are making is our own co-op has invested over $5.8 million in new and upgrading facilities in the last 10 years. These investments were made to better meet the needs of our members, make us more efficient, and it also, I guarantee you that we've made that for a long term. We don't intend to leave these communities in any time in the near future. I'm not sure we can say that about our competitors.
Our cooperative has seen many changes in recent years, and most of them are significant. The service station, until recently, offered oil changes, tire repair, and a full-service pump island. Today, after painful decisions, this station offers pumps 24/7 on a card-operated basis, and we've leased the service bays to a sole proprietor. As economics continue to change in my area, service stations, cafes, banks, hardware, and grocery stores just aren't economically viable in small communities anymore. This creates additional challenges for the leadership of our cooperative. Each of our sites needs to be evaluated for greater efficiency and change, such as this service station. These changes will allow our cooperative to operate at greater efficiency, and it will improve the efficiency of my own operation in the process. I want a combination of low prices, high quality, and the best service possible, just like everyone else. To achieve this, change is needed for my cooperative to operate more efficiently, and patrons like myself will have to accept and understand the need for change.
In order to succeed in farming, I know I'm gonna need a lot of help from a different number of people. People like my banker, my accountant, and my input suppliers. In order to survive on razor-thin margins, I need an input supplier that, number one, is cost competitive, number two, that has technical expertise, and number three, the right equipment. One of the services I value the most in my local co-op is custom spray application. During the busiest times of the year, I need them. It's almost like having an extra hired man that I don't have to pay year-round.
The biggest supporter of our FFA chapter has been our local cooperative. Over the years, we've worked together on many projects that have been very beneficial for our students. While the financial support that we've received has really been good for our chapter, I tell you that the technical experience and the expertise that the kids get from working with the cooperative people is really what's been beneficial to them. They're really connected to the world of work, and it really has strengthened their educational experience.
Cooperatives have always been positive for Nebraska farmers and ranchers. We all understand that none of us could individually afford the assets that bring value to our farming operations. By remaining a loyal cooperative member, you can share in the values of floaters, state-of-the-art feed mills, high-efficiency fertilizer facilities, shuttle grain loading facilities, and many other investments that bring value to your farm. You can't afford to own all these things, but by being a member of your local cooperative, you can guarantee that these services will be available to your area, bringing value to your farming operation. As you consider this, I think you should ask one very important question, and that is, if my neighbors and I did not have the local cooperative in our area, who would provide the competition for the multinational companies that are in the input supply and grain marketing business? Cooperatives have had a great history of meeting the needs of their members. As member needs have changed, so have the cooperatives that are member-owned. As we look to the future, it is probably safe to say that cooperatives will continue to change. But remember, because you own these companies, that change will be based on the needs of your members as identified by your board of directors. Cooperatives have a proud history, and because of the diligent work of many dedicated local directors and employees, the future looks to be bright as well.
Agriculture has a significant task of providing food and fiber for the world. If we are to feed a starving world, American agriculture will be key to accomplishing that goal. Sometimes it is easy to overlook the importance of an industry that we are so close to. However, if we step back, you will see a very dynamic industry that needs highly skilled and highly motivated young people to ensure we can meet the needs of an ever-growing worldwide population. In the United States, 25% of the total jobs are in some way related to agriculture. In Nebraska, nearly 1/3 of all jobs are ag-related. Our farm products are essential to meeting the demand of major markets. 46% of our corn and 50% of our soybeans are shipped out of state each year. In addition, Nebraska feeds 18% of the cattle on feed nationwide. Without this abundance, people around the country and the world would not be eating nearly as well. Agriculture has achieved this success due to an infrastructure that has been developed over the years. We all know that due to technological advances, the number of farmers and ranchers has declined. However, we need to point out that these remaining producers rely more heavily on agribusiness professionals today than ever before. In the future, agriculture is going to be called upon to do more for our world. Through renewable fuels such as ethanol and biodiesel, and other genetic advancements such as pharmaceuticals, opportunities will continue to be available for motivated professionals to establish a career in agriculture. Just as American agriculture is vital to our world, agricultural cooperatives are vital to agriculture. Agricultural cooperatives in Nebraska alone provide goods and services for virtually every farmer and rancher in the state. With over 60,000 members, cooperatives are touching nearly every Nebraska farmer and rancher. We all know that agriculture has changed radically over the years, and much of this is because of the technology that is so readily available in today's world. As agriculture has changed, so have farmer-owned cooperatives. While cooperatives have always been community-based businesses, today they have become leaders in providing services and products for an increasingly sophisticated generation of ag producers. Today in Nebraska, over 5,500 people are employed by local cooperatives. These cooperatives have a total payroll of over $117 million each year, so you can see that there are many good career opportunities within the cooperative system. Cooperatives in Nebraska range from small companies with sales of under $10 million in annual sales per year and 10 or few employees, all the way up to companies with over $250 million in annual sales and staffs of over 250 people. With this diversity, potential employees have the ability to seek out just about any type of job that you could imagine in the agribusiness field. Because cooperatives are located all across the state, you can also choose to build careers in your area of interest, whether it be in the feed business, marketing of grain, petroleum, agronomy, or in other areas such as accounting, human resources management, information technology, or communications. As cooperatives have emerged over the years, the structure of these larger companies has allowed young employees to develop career ladders that allow the employees to grow into new roles in the cooperative.
When I graduated from college, I was not sure where I wanted to begin my career, but I knew I wanted to be involved in agriculture. As I was seeking a job, I was pleasantly surprised at the opportunities that were available within the cooperative system. It has never been my goal to live in a big city, so when I learned about the opportunities provided by local cooperatives, it made my career choice simple. I have a challenging and well-paying job with excellent benefits. In addition, I can see a career pathway that will allow me to advance within the company. Most importantly, I'm able to do this in a small town in Nebraska. I'm firmly convinced that I will be happiest living in a small Nebraska town, and this job allows me to have a career advancement but still live in an environment that suits my personality.
As our cooperative continues to grow and mature as a company, we are continually looking for individuals to help us succeed. While you may think of us as a company that employs floater operators and truck drivers, but we also have a need for other specialized areas. These positions would range all the way from secretarial work to that of a controller and would include areas such as communications, advertising, human resources, accounting, and information technology. All of these positions help make our frontline people out in the field more efficient in serving our customers and providing more value for end users.
As our cooperative has grown, we have been able to provide unique opportunities for quality employees. Our company has always valued its employees, and we are committed to helping them grow in their career choice. We are continually providing training to enhance the skill level of all our employees. In fact, it would not be uncommon for motivated employees to take part in 15 days of specific in-depth training each year. In addition to training, we also believe that it is important to reward quality employees. We feel our salary base is very competitive with our industry here in Nebraska.
When I started working in our co-op, I was probably like everybody else, just interested in the paycheck. I soon discovered that in addition to the check, the health and retirement benefits I was receiving equaled almost 20% of my monthly salary. Our cooperative also provided bonuses based on performance. If you perform well and the co-op does well, you will be recognized with a significant bonus at the end of the year. I've found my job at the co-op to be both challenging and diverse. During the winter months, we are conducting a lot of meetings to showcase the products and services that we can provide to our producers. This is a time of year when we are educating and booking a lot of our sales. During the spring and early summer, of course, we are extremely busy with the application of products. The logistics of covering a large amount of acres in such a short time frame is certainly challenging, but when we accomplish our goals, it is rewarding as well. During the summer and fall, we are evaluating how products work and developing recommendations for the coming year that will best meet our patrons' needs. It is safe to say that you will never get bored working at our co-op.
Nebraska cooperatives have a long history of providing goods and services for their members. As agriculture has changed over the years, so have the farmer-owned cooperatives. These cooperatives understand that in order to be competitive in the future, they must have a high-quality, well-trained group of employees to meet the needs of a constantly more sophisticated agricultural industry. Today, cooperatives offer many opportunities for motivated young people to develop a challenging and satisfying career in agriculture. Maybe it's time for you to consider how you can fit into Nebraska's cooperative system. Agricultural cooperatives began forming in the early 1900s. There were two major reasons that led to this action. In some cases, farmers in certain areas of the state simply could not obtain a reliable supply of the inputs they needed to carry out their farming operations. In order to assure their access to the inputs they needed, farmers began forming their own purchasing groups or cooperatives. In other cases, inputs were available, but from a limited number of suppliers. Thus, prices were often higher than the farmers could afford. To create competition amongst input suppliers, local producers formed cooperatives to provide themselves with a ready supply of affordable inputs to maintain their farming business. Over time, farm supply and marketing cooperatives have changed dramatically to meet the needs of their farmer owners. One thing hasn't changed though. Today's cooperatives are still focused on providing value to their owners, who are the farmers that use the cooperative. Many times, young producers ask the question, why should I be a member and do business with a farmer-owned cooperative? To answer that, let's explore the financial structure of a cooperative and how cooperatives are governed.
The farm supply and marketing cooperatives exist for the benefits of its members, the farmers and ranchers who use the cooperative's products and services. These farmers and ranchers, often called patrons, are responsible for the governance of the cooperative and must invest equity capital in the cooperative. In return, the members are entitled to share in a portion of the net profits of the cooperative, which are allocated to them as patronage refunds or allocated equity.
Since we have started farming, we've really relied on our cooperative to be a partner in adding value to our business. Of course, pricing is always an issue, but in addition to the service that comes with the product is important to us. We rely on our cooperative to provide us with the most up-to-date technical information on crop protection and grain marketing, allowing us to concentrate on what we like to do best, which is producing crops and livestock. The technical expertise that the cooperative provides us allows us to be more profitable and, quite frankly, is a service that we can't get anywhere else.
One of the services that our cooperative provides is custom application. This is important to our operation because we can't afford to have a full-time hired person. And through this service, we really get a hired man when we need him the most, in the extremely busy times of the year, but also not having to pay for the hired help all year round. While price is important, I've discovered that the total value that a company brings you is what will make the difference in our survival in this business. I believe the value that my cooperative provides us through price, customer service, technical support, and patronage and equity redemption make the co-op our supplier of choice.
By being an owner of the cooperative, you share in the profits and losses of the cooperative. The two ways to do that is through patronage refunds and equity redemption. A patronage refund is a portion of the cooperative's net profit allocated to you in a particular year. This patronage refund usually is paid partially in cash in the year in which it was allocated to you, and partially as allocated member equity in the cooperative with your name on it. This allocated member equity in the cooperative builds over time and is eventually paid back to you according to the cooperative's equity redemption program. Over time, these member allocated equities invested in the cooperative and redeemed at a later date can become rather significant. It is not uncommon for producers to receive equity redemption payments of several $1,000s.
Allocated member equity in Nebraska cooperatives is often paid back to members when they reach a particular age, generally near retirement, or on an age of equity basis. For example, in an age of equity program, if the cooperative revolved equity on a 20-year basis, you would receive your equity 20 years after it was earned. While retirement may seem like a long way off to you, equity investment in a well-managed and profitable cooperative that is providing you with competitively priced products and services can be a portion of a well-balanced retirement investment portfolio. Plus, if you're already doing business with the cooperative because of the products and services it offers your operation, receiving those equity redemption checks upon your retirement almost becomes a no-brainer. Farmer-owned cooperatives also offer the benefit of local control. It is your right and responsibility as a member of the cooperative to participate in its governance. You have the right to elect members to a board of directors that serve as the policymakers of the cooperatives. And you can even serve as a director yourself. This allows you and other members of the cooperative to make decisions that you feel are best for the cooperative and will best meet the needs of local farmers in your area.
When I started farming, I did business with a co-op because this is where my dad did his business. Over time, I've looked at other options, and as Dad and I have discussed this, I've learned one thing. The local co-op is going to be there to meet my needs. While other people may enter and exit the market on a regular basis, my cooperative will always be there to provide the services I need. They will not disappear overnight as can happen with other suppliers. If a co-op invests $1 million in a new grain facility or $3 million in a new feed mill, as many co-ops have recently done, my bet is that they will be around to serve my needs for a long, long time.
We all know that the future is nearly impossible to predict. However, it would seem that it would make good business sense to partner with your local co-op. These co-ops can provide you with competitively priced products, the latest in innovative technology, first-class customer service, and the reasonable assurance that they will be there to serve you well into the future, all while being owned by you, the user. It kind of makes you wonder, why wouldn't you want to be an owner and a customer of a business like that? Because cooperatives are the local provider, you need to think about who would provide competition for the multinational companies if the local cooperative did not exist. Cooperatives are a business model that have served farmers and ranchers well in the past, and because they are continuing to change to meet producers' needs, they will continue to be a viable supplier in the future.